Andrea something with the links. I just didn't think about that. Thank you so much for coming to our first curriculum meet and greet. This was first grade's curriculum meet and greet. This is the second year that we're doing this format, and last year was our first time, and we had so many parents tune in virtually in addition to so many parents show up in person. So we're really excited to see even more families here with us today. This is our fabulous first grade team. They are going to introduce themselves today and then tell you a little bit about what the students will be learning this year, and just some important information that you need to know. Hablo español también. Bienvenidos a todos. Gracias por venir. Hoy es la primera reunión del currículo del primer grado. Aquí hay el equipo de maestras del primer grado y van a presentarles información acerca de qué estarán aprendiendo los niños y algunas otras cosas importantes.
I'm Kristen Head. I'm a first grade teacher.
I'm Ms. Crowder, and I'm going to be DIP.
I'm Lauren Childs. I'm a first grade teacher.
I'm Amanda Sexton, and I'm also a first grade teacher.
I'm Vicki Cole, and I teach first grade.
I am Tori Durkett, and I will be supporting first grade for EIP purposes.
I'm Miss Stagler, and I teach first grade, and Mr. Wellington works with my class as well.
I'm Miss Dickens, and I now teach first grade.
Miss Glasnick.
Okay, so I'm just going to read through our Board of Education belief statements. So at BCSS, we prioritize our students above all else. We are committed to providing safe and secure schools that deliver high-quality education. Each of our schools foster a unique culture of learning closely connected to the community it serves. We believe literacy should be the foremost academic priority of our school system. We are committed to emphasizing early literacy and continuously nurturing these skills throughout students' educational journeys. We are dedicated to ensuring student content mastery, academic growth, and data-driven success. By celebrating progress and achievement, we foster continuous improvement. Accountability is a shared responsibility among faculty and staff, students, families, and the Board of Education. We believe students should have access to the best resources and opportunities available. We are committed to offering a variety of pathways to ensure that each child can succeed in their educational journey. We believe staff should receive competitive salaries and benefits, be provided with opportunities for career growth and professional development, and be granted flexibility to support other obligations. And then finally, we believe our families and communities should be active partners, supporting schools through engagement and commitment.
Okay, estas son algunas frases de creencia del distrito escolar que voy a decir como un resumen más corto, que los niños son la prioridad y que creemos en tener escuelas seguras. Estamos dedicados a asegurar que los niños tengan éxito y que también pensamos que las familias y la comunidad es muy importante. You can go in English first, you know that. Oh yes, I can do this too. Okay, so those belief statements that we just read were just recently developed in collaboration with our executive cabinet, our leaders here in Barrow County, with our school board, they did that over the summer, so they're pretty new, but we are really proud of them and are excited about the commitment and consensus that they convey. They also established some goals for achievement for this year for the school district, and so this is showing the goal for all kindergarten through second grade students for reading as measured by the MAP test, which is one of the tests that we take 3 times a year. So at the end of last year, 58.35% of our students were performing at the average level or above at the end of last year. So we want to do better than that. So the district has set a goal that we're going to increase that by 5%. So that may not look, or sound like much, but 5% is where we want to, begin that growth and be able to continue making that growth over the long term. So our goal for the end of this school year is to have 63.35% of our students at average achievement or higher. Esta es la meta para alfabetismo para la evaluación de lectura para el fin del año escolar. El año pasado, 58% de los niños estaban leyendo en nivel del grado o más allá. Y para este año siguiente, para fines de 25-26, queremos que 63% de los niños lean en su nivel del grado o más arriba de eso.
And so one of the ways that we're going to measure that, like Ms. Fritz said, was through assessments. And so our first assessment that most of your children have already taken is the MAP test. So they took this last year 3 times a year. They take it all through elementary school 3 times a year. So I have the pleasure of working with them and getting that test done. So this test is going to measure where they are on a national norm. So we have a national growth measure, and it tells us where they are. So you will be getting that report very soon to show you, where they are. 50th percentile would be your average first grade student. Above that means that they are, exceeding that average student, and below that 50th percentile means that we're not quite there yet where we should be for that first grade, but there's supports in place that we can do for that. Again, this will be now, and then we'll do math actually in like 2 days. And then we will do it again in December, and then at the end of the year. And that percentile, or the percentage that Ms. Kurtz was just saying, is based off of this test. So we'll take the percentage of students that are at that 50th percentile or higher, and hopefully meet that 63% goal. Yes. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Okay. Estamos hablando de la evaluación que se llama MAP, que hacemos 3 veces al año. Y esta evaluación es una evaluación nacional, entonces podemos comparar los niños aquí en Winder Elementary a todos los otros niños en su grado de todos los otros Estados Unidos, que han tenido la misma cantidad de estar en la escuela como los niños aquí. Entonces podemos saber cómo comparen a los demás niños en primer grado. Entonces, hacemos esa evaluación 3 veces al año y ustedes van a recibir un reporte como en 2 o 3 semanas en que les va a compartir los resultados. También tendremos conferencias en noviembre, octubre, noviembre, y vamos a discutir los resultados con ustedes también.
Another assessment that we give 3 times a year is what we call our DIBELS assessment. And so that is a literacy assessment where we focus on their phonemic awareness, their phonics skills, their fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. And on top of that, that's not listed, is we are also screening them for dyslexia, which is new this year. They will be screened 3 times a year as well for dyslexia, and you guys will get a report if your child is flagged for that. That's about all I know. It's new to us too, so we are learning, so we will pass information along to you guys as well. But these tests are a one-on-one test, so if a kid said, hey, I went with Miss Durkee today, we're probably doing DIBELS. And so it's just a one-on-one test where we get to see where they are and what reading skills that we need to really pound in on. And then we also, in first grade, do weekly phonics assessments and module tests for math and reading.
Otra evaluación importante que hacemos 3 veces al año se llama DIBELS. Esa evaluación solo se trata de lectura y hay como evaluaciones más cortas que miden habilidades específicas para poder leer. Entonces vamos a mandarles resultados de esta evaluación 3 veces al año. Y también hacemos evaluaciones de dislexia para determinar si sus niños están teniendo o están luchando con reconocer los sonidos que hacen las letras y leer. So just like last year, we will be continuing to do standards-based grading. You guys were parents of kindergartners, so you weren't, unless you have older children, you have not received a standards-based report card. So basically we are looking at the standards that we're teaching, and then we're going to be communicating with you about how students are progressing towards mastery of that standard. So you're not going to get like a percentage grade or a letter grade. We have a rubric that we use to determine, based on their work and kind of the totality of the evidence of that work. So looking not only at the assessments, but also their work in class to determine the progress that they're making towards mastery of the standard. So when you get, we call them progress reports instead of report cards. Because with the idea that they're continually making progress, and it doesn't just stop at meeting the standard, we're looking to grow them beyond that as well. So you're going to get a combination of letters on the progress report. So EX means exceeding the standard, so they're, and on our rubrics that we use, we're literally using the criteria for the next grade level. And so if they're exceeding, then they're working at a grade level above. Demonstrating is the grade level expectation, so that's what we're wanting first grade students to demonstrate with that standard. Developing means that they're getting close, but they're not quite on grade level. Emerging means that they're a little bit, struggling a little bit more. They're still making progress, but they're just not quite on grade level yet. And then not yet demonstrating the ND means that the standard has been taught, but they're not demonstrating. So they're really, struggling with understanding even kind of what's being asked of them at that point. NA means we haven't taught it yet, so we're not assessing that. So you'll get one of those letter combinations on your progress report for all the different standards that we're teaching. So do you guys have any questions about that? Okay.
No more G kids. No more G kids.
Entonces, en español, que ustedes van a recibir reportes de la escuela 3 veces al año también. Y vamos a compartir información acerca de cómo los niños están progresando para alcanzar la meta de los estándares a través del año escolar. Y esos son como los grados, no es como una A, B, C, D, son letras. La X significa que están haciendo trabajo que supera la esperanza del grado. La DM significa que está demostrando la meta que tenemos para niños en este grado. DV significa desarrollando, entonces están alcanzando la meta, pero todavía no lo han logrado. EM significa que está empezando de demostrar que entienden. Y la ND significa que no están demostrando un entendimiento del estándar. NA significa que no hemos enseñado ya este estándar. ¿Okay? ¿Tienen preguntas de eso?
Just to piggyback off of the grading, it's okay that your child doesn't know it yet. So if your child doesn't know it yet, you'll get specific feedback from your child's teacher explaining what they need to work on, maybe some things to help at home, or if they qualify to receive some extra services, maybe like working with Ms. Durkett in EIP, that's when we will determine that. So we just want to have the students have a growth mindset, so they know it's okay to not know it yet, but we're working towards knowing it and setting those goals.
Uno de los beneficios de ese sistema de dar notas es que los niños pueden entender que aunque no hayan alcanzado la meta ya, que todavía están en progreso.
Okay, attendance. If your child is sick, please send the doctor's note, remind, or handwritten note. That's super important so we can have that contact in Infinite Campus. At 5 unexcused absences, you will get a letter from the school, and look out for more information about attendance on Remind in our social media page. Piggybacking off of that, our school day, come in at 7, the bell rings at 7:30. Literacy instruction starts at 7:45. Some supports are coming in to help, so it's really important for your child to be there on time so we can start our day and have breakfast, unpack. We're ready to go by 7:30. So.
Que la asistencia es muy importante. Si su niño se enferma, favor de mandar una nota del doctor o mandar la nota a la maestra por Remind o una nota escrita cuando regresan. Después de 5 ausencias inexcusadas, la escuela les va a mandar una carta y vamos a mandar más información acerca de la asistencia por Remind y también nuestra página de media social. La escuela, la campaña suena a las 7 de la mañana, entonces los niños necesitan llegar más o menos a las 7, antes de las 7:30, para poder empezar el día, y también terminamos el día a las 2 de la tarde.
This is our Paul's Behavior school-wide thing that we recite every morning. So keep positive attitude, act responsibly, work hard, and show respect. So this is our school-wide behavior platform that we go off of. And within that, we have voice time skills. There's a skill each day, like today was asking permission. And we go through the ways of how to ask permission. What are examples? What are the good ways? What are the bad ways? So each day, it has a different topic or theme to it. But this is what we say every morning to set that positive mindset.
Esta es una de las cosas que utilizamos para animar al comportamiento excelente, que se llama PAUSE, y la P significa actitud positiva, la A acta en manera responsable, la W trabaja bien fuerte, y la S muestra respeto. También tenemos lecturas que podemos enseñar a los niños cada día acerca de comportamientos específicos que estamos esperando dentro de esas categorías.
So this is our schedule. For each class classroom, it kind of varies down to like the specific minute of what we're doing, but this is a general schedule of what first grade follows. So after arrival, most of us are doing reading and structured literacy, which is our phonics time, and writing in the morning. Most of us are doing that around that time. And then social studies is usually either before or after lunch, depending on when you can fit it in. Everybody's lunchtime is around 10:30, so if you're planning on coming to eat with your child, it's around 10:30, but you can always message and ask what the specific time is. Some classes go to recess before lunch, some go after, some go after specials. It's all a little bit different this year for those specific parts, but after specials, we have math at the very end of the day before we get ready for dismissal. So the big parts is usually reading, writing is in the morning, and math is in the afternoon.
Okay, aquí hay el horario, que más o menos tenemos la lectura en la mañana y también la escritura. Después de eso, estudios sociales o ciencias. A las 10:30 comen la lonche y juegan afuera desde las 11 hasta las 11:30 más o menos. Y después tienen las clases especiales y después de eso matemáticas. Y después de eso se van a casa.
So quickly, I just wanted to share some of our resources that the students will be using in the classroom. This year, handwriting is a standard that we have to teach. So your students will have handwriting books where they're practicing forming their letters correctly, those fine motor skills that follow along with our phonics program. They will also have a reading book. So a lot of these will come home throughout the school year once we're done with those modules. But you can still keep them at home, read through the stories over and over, circle words, say no, don't know, mark words, where is that digraph, the TH, mark them up. That's what they're there for. So you'll see these come home too that you can do lots with once we're done with them at school. Students will also use whiteboards and expo markers a lot, daily, for our phonics instruction. So that's why expo markers are very, very important in first grade, because if they're 6 and 7, if the marker top doesn't make it back on, then the next day that marker is gone and in the trash. So we're trying to train them to hear that click, but that's why you may hear us ask for more expo markers, because this tool we use daily in small groups and large groups. We also have math workbooks. You might not see this workbook come home because a lot of us do tear out the worksheet pages for students to use in the classroom, but this is another resource that we use to help support our students. I don't know if homework is in the next slide, but I did want to bring homework. Most of us send a packet home that has math practice and phonics practice. This is a great communication tool between you and the teachers, so you know exactly what's being taught in the classroom. What math skills are we doing? What phonics skills are we doing? And usually we send it home for extra practice, and you can return it whenever your child finishes it at the end of the week. If it has to go to the next week, that's fine. We just want them to practice.
Es un resumen de todos los materiales que usemos aquí en la escuela para enseñar lectura y matemáticas y ejemplos también acerca de la tarea que vamos a mandar a casa.
I just want to go over a few general reminders for first grade. I know that you've probably seen the red folders, the take-home folders. It's very important that those come back and forth to school, that you open them up and look at them. There's a little box on each day for you to initial. Also, the color for the behavior, which is on the side there for the chart. If you don't understand what those colors are for, they tell you where that behavior is. Just to give you an idea of the climate of how their day went. And it's a conversation piece, so that they're hearing the same thing at school as they are at home. And also we put work that's finished in there, so when you get that work, you can go through it, kind of see what they're doing. Some things you might want to keep because they're pretty special, they worked hard on them. And then just take it out so we have room for the next week's stuff. Also, encourage you guys to make sure they have a water bottle with their name on it, because things get lost and left everywhere, and for some reason they disappear. And they can't identify their own items sometimes when they're as young as they are, so the name really helps. At snack time, teachers don't provide snacks. If the child has a snack, then they will have a time to eat it. Some of us allow them to eat it at recess, so it needs to be something quick and simple, something pretty healthy, and nothing sticky or spicy that gets all over their fingers. Sometimes it's a working snack, so they're eating while they're working. And if they have, orange, spicy dust all over their fingers, it's kind of hard to do the work. It's a great idea to have an extra pair of clothes in their backpack. Accidents happen, even to the best of us, so it's nice to have that because we don't always have clothing that fits in the nurse's office for them to change into. And we like to see the kids have headphones for their computer time versus earbuds, because the earbuds get tangled into knots and they can't get them untangled. They also fall on the floor sometimes when people step on them and they tear apart. So headphones are a much better choice for them to be able to actually get their work done.
We also need headphones for assessment purposes. So most of the tests that I have been giving them is on the computer. And so it reads to them. So it's very important that they have headphones. So if you're in the need and need help getting some headphones, just let your child's teacher know and we can make, accommodations for that. But if you are able to get them some headphones that would be fantastic.
And also, if you're gonna have to pick your child up or send them home a different way in the afternoons, just make sure that you have a written note in the folder for us to be able to turn into the office. It's all about safety for them. And we can't just, if the child says, oh, I'm supposed to be a car rider today, well, if I don't have a note, they're not gonna be a car rider. So we need notes to, allow us to be able to change the way they get home in the afternoon and make sure that they do get that way, the way that you prefer them to be home. And also, this is kind of a hard one because it can slip through your fingers without you knowing, but if you can please help make sure your kids don't have toys or makeup or jewelry or things like that they bring to school, because it is so distracting and they're sitting there playing with that and everybody wants to see it and they want to let somebody borrow it and it just, then we have to take it, and so then you have to come get it from us. So if you would just help with that, that would be really great.
Aquí hay algunos recordatorios que favor de regresar las carpetas rojas que Ms. Head mostró al principio. Esta es la manera de comunicación, o una de las maneras de comunicación entre la maestra y los padres. Tiene un calendario donde pintamos el color para indicar cómo pasó el día con los niños. Entonces se puede como aprender más o menos cómo fue el día y cómo se portaron. También favor de traer una botella de agua o manda con su niño. Cuando están mandando comida a la escuela como una merienda, favor de asegurar que sea saludable, como fruta, queso, galletas saladas, pero no con mucha, como los Cheetos o los Takis, que están demasiado y también si se puede mandar un cambio de ropa y un par de audífonos para escuchar. Tenemos muchos programas en la computadora y las evaluaciones también. También si necesitan cambiar la manera del transporte de su niño, favor de escribir una nota a la oficina y pon la nota en la carpeta roja. Y también ayúdanos por animarles a los niños a no traer juguetes a la escuela, porque se distraen los demás y no queremos perder los juguetes de los niños tampoco. Gracias.
Okay, so ways that you can help at home as parents. Encourage your child to read every night, even if it's just 15 minutes. Either they can read to you, you can read to them, a big brother or sister can sit down and read with them. Just them recognizing the words on the page, things like that, is a major help with them learning how to read and building their comprehension with everyday reading. Because we work on reading every single day, different passages, So reading to them every night is a big help. And then helping your child practice their phonics skill at home. Like Ms. Hunt said, we all send something different home, but every week we send decodable readers, math, or our phonics skill of the week. Like this week, I think we're doing O and I, the short sounds. So just helping them with the skill of the week at home with those CBC words and doing flashcards and things like that with them to help them. Homework, again, we send it home every week. It doesn't have to be returned on Fridays. We would like for it to be, just to see that you guys are going over it, doing it, but just take your time with it. Don't feel overwhelmed. Don't feel like it has to be turned in tomorrow, the next day. Just do what you can do and get a little bit out of them each night is a major difference in help with doing what they're doing in the classroom every day. And then again, you can always make addition and subtraction flashcard skills. You'll notice that when we do send the homework home, it is actually the skill of the week. So like last week we sent 2D shape homework home, the A and I short vowel sound homework home. That was the actual skill that we were learning that week. So, and then the 2D shape did roll over into this week, but our phonics skill has changed. So today everybody's homework will look a little bit different. But anything that you guys can do, 15, 20 minutes a night at home can make a big difference, just helping them out with their progress and moving on. So.
Aquí hablamos acerca de maneras en que nos pueden ayudar en casa, como por ejemplo se puede leer con los niños por lo menos 15 minutos cada noche. Eso puede ayudarles a aprender a escuchar mejor. También pueden revisar lo que estamos enseñándoles a los niños, cómo señalar las palabras mientras estamos leyendo. Y otra cosa es que siempre comunicamos con los padres acerca del enfoque de las fónicas, la habilidad de cualquier como combinación de letras y los sonidos que hacen las letras. Nos enfocamos en otra combinación de letras cada semana. Entonces siempre les avisamos en qué estamos enfocando para que ustedes también practiquen en casa con ellos. Si recibe tarea con su niño, favor de ayudarnos con eso también. Normalmente los padres regresan la tarea para el fin de la semana. Y también en primer grado estamos practicando mucho las sumas y las restas. Entonces si ustedes quieren hacer tarjetas en casa con sumas básicas para practicar las sumas y las restas con los niños, nos ayudarían bastante también. ¿Preguntas? Yeah.
So when it comes to a child being sick, it gave 3 options. Last year, my kids were out at the same time. Both teachers were aware via Remind, and one of my children came home with a letter. So what's the difference? Is it based on the teacher, or is it based off of those 3 no matter what?
It should be based off of these 3, and maybe something happened last year with something fell through the cracks or a lack of communication, but usually if there's something like that happens, then you can call the office and we can get it resolved. We want to resolve it as much as we can,
Yeah.
without it being like a situation of an unexcused absence. So if we can go back and find the documentation, then we can go back and change it.
Yeah, because I have all of the reminds, and I did call, and there was no resolution.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, let's make sure that we visit the office on your way out today, and we'll try to get it taken care of. Sorry about that. Any other questions?
Well, thank you guys for coming. If you have specific questions for your teacher, they have a couple minutes before